Shri Sanjeev Gupta, Managing Director and CEO, KDIM. Chairman KDIM, Shri B.V. Naiduji. And Shri Darshan HV, Director ITBT. Santosh Hulikopi, and sir, please, sir. May I request you to please come on this stage, sir. Thank you, sir. To begin the proceeding, may I please request Shri Sanjeev Gupta, MD and CEO, KDIM, to give the welcome remarks and update on the work done on Beyond Bangalore STP cluster. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, all of you. First of all, a big round of applause for Honorable Minister to be here with us. Extremely busy, so much happening around it in the council. Last minute, finally we got him here, sir. Thank you so much for taking this time out for us. From behalf of HDB cluster, we warmly welcome you, all the industry people here together. So, Techceleration is an event. This is the third event. The meaning of this event is accelerating technology in the emerging tech clusters, which is Hubli, Belgaum, Dharwad. So what we have done is, in this today's event, we have got into understanding of some very critical elements for growth of the cluster, such as, like how do we create startups which can work with the government for the larger citizen goods. So we had a discussion on this topic as well today. We had discussions about how do we create an ESGM growth story coming out from a Hubli, Belgaum, Dharwad. What is more needs to be done onto this? And for which we have the Sankhya Lab, Viva Labs, and all the people who were here together. They were having a debate and discussion on the panel. So we had a winds of change. Some very encouraging animation industry coming up in Hubli. How does it changing the game altogether in the cluster? So winds of change. We had two CEOs here together who were having a conversation on the dais today morning. So we have Mr. Ravi Guttal, who is the CTO of the ACUS, and he was here today to share about how we ACUS and the entire engineering and research and design becoming a global attraction power for a cluster like us. And examples were already shared with them. So we also have a session on what is the importance of a capital while growing a startup ecosystem in the clusters, and what are the initiatives of the government of Karnataka in the field of providing the startup ecosystem growth story. And Darshanji gave a fantastic address onto this part, initiating all the initiatives of government of Karnataka onto that. We have the angel investors coming together and having a discussion. We also have the navigation, the potential of GCCs. While a spoke source strategy we have designed for the Beyond Bangalore mission, how do we create a spoke source strategy while GCCs also come here? And a couple of CEOs of the GCCs were here and we're talking about in the coming session. We will have the 5S Digital, we have the Draw Holdings, and etc. talking about of the GCCs. The next session after this, sir, will happen on the how do we get a rapid talent transformation. And under your leadership, sir, chairmanship, the council has been set up, Skill Advisory Council, what progress we are doing it, what emerging technology we are working on. And Madam Kaur will be actually addressing on that topic in a very detailed manner as soon as he arrives here. We also have lined up some 7 products to be launched through this platform of the Belgaum Hubli cluster, sir. We have a couple of students. We have people like Marvel, Naveen is here with us. We have TCS, Mr. Sunil is here with us. We have Philips, Mr. Harish is here with us. And many of those companies and the TIE participation from across the chapter, sir. This is just to let you know, this is the day today that we are celebrating technology in the cluster on the lines of what we do, Bangalore Tech Summit. Warm welcome to you here. And these are the industry anchors which has been there. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir, as briefed by the leadership team of KDIM in previous occasions also, sir, most important initiatives in all 3 clusters are driven by our industry anchors, sir. So we have 2 of our industry anchors on the dais, sir. May we please request Venkatesh Patil, sir. He's the lead industry anchor for the cluster, sir, and also the managing director for Belgaum Oxygen Private Limited, to give the milestones to growth, short presentation on where do we see this entire cluster growing, sir. So.
Honorable Minister and friends, So thank you very, very much for taking off your time and attending this. We're looking forward to that. I'm told startup Karnataka was your brainchild, and today you are seeing the fruits coming out of, and we wanted to celebrate that in your presence. So this KDM beyond Bangalore, this thing started 3 years back, where we, myself, Santosh, we all got together, and I mean, we were invited to be on the board to promote beyond Bangalore for STP cluster. Over this period, Belgaum, Hubli, Dharwad cluster as such, if you see, sir, we have lot of homegrown companies who have really made it big, and some of them are world-class companies today, having presence across the globe, manufacturing units, marketing units, and the list is there to see, sir. Over the last 3 years, through efforts of KDM, lot of new companies have come into this cluster. Especially, I can mention about iMerit, IMOS, and various other companies. We have come, tested the waters, and now they are expanding bigger way. This STB cluster also has seen lot of companies, who have expanded, who are already operating, and now they are expanded to health of KDM. And recently, I'm happy to announce that, NIDEC has just done the groundbreaking for their ESDM manufacturing unit, which I'm told 400 crore would be the investment, and 800 employment generation would be there. For the last 2 years, we also, I'm happy to announce that, Mr. Subhash Tagiji is here. He has set up India's biggest float glass manufacturing company in Belgaum in flat 1 year with an investment of 2,500 crores, with direct employment of 2,000 people and indirect employment of around 12,000 people. Am I right, sir? Over this period, 16 new companies have come in here, 4 companies are expanded, 40 companies are in the pipeline. Manufacturing setup, 1 company has come up. We have created direct jobs of more than 3,000. More than 150 startups have been onboarded into this program. And now, this again the greatest initiative of Karnataka, this cluster seed fund, where 25 crores for each cluster is being created with the government participation, individuals participation from the local clusters. And I'm happy to announce STB today, out of 7 crores what we have to generate, already 4 crores has been committed from, and another 3 crores are in the pipeline. So we look forward to a rapid growth of the startup ecosystem in this area. Sir, for this journey to be successful, we need of course, support has always there from government, but we need few more support, which we would like to make a humble presentation. I always believe that if a company has to come into either Belgaum, Hubli, or Dharwad, they need to have a clear place, where they can have, plug and play facility. They can come, set up their unit of 50, 100 seater, test the waters, and then later they get the confidence they can expand. So humble request is, if government can set up a startup hub, plug and play facility for not only startups, for any companies to come up, of 25,000 crores in Hubli and also as well as in Belgaum. Especially, sir, Belgaum, one new building is coming up in a place called Kala Mandir, which is a corporation building. A huge mall is coming. I think third or fourth floor would be, Darshan sir would be aware of that. If that can be converted into a startup hub, that would be a great support for the companies to move into Belgaum. Our request also is to have um, uh, GTC plug-and facility for drone and EV companies. Recently, we had a drone and EV seminar in Belgaum. It's a huge participation. We were ourselves surprised that so many companies are in this cluster who are into manufacture of drones. But they need a lot of test facilities and other facilities for which, if there is a facility called Vishweshwara Trade Promotion Council, if that can be converted into a plug and play facility, that will be on the in line of GTC Mysore, that will be of great help, sir. There's a 5-acre land which is previously identified by Kionics. If that can be, converted into a IT park, it is very near to, I mean, any IT park, it has to be near the city. And that will be a great booster to all the startups in Belgaum. We have representatives of Belgaum Tech Entrepreneur Association. They want to make a representation. We humbly request you to consider that, that will be a real booster for this sector, sir. Please. We also request that we should have one center of excellence on AI in this Hubli Dharo Belgaum cluster. And we wish to, especially I request Sanjuji and Naiduji to have more events like this to create awareness and to boost the morale of the startups here. And more than anything, sir, we require your support and visits to Belgaum and Hubli Dharwad cluster more frequently, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patil sir. So the next item is something which is a focus action item for KDM as well, sir, which is Cluster Seed Fund. I think, sir, out of 25 CR, KITS as a primary sponsor has already committed 7 CR for the fund, sir. 4 CR, as Venkatesh had mentioned, that has already been raised, sir. And KDM team is working with several financial institutions. In fact, 2 have come forward and committed. I think we have intent letter also. We are working with other financial institutions also, sir, to close this as early as, sir. But this time to felicitate few of the contributors to this fund from the cluster, sir. May I please request Sri Suhash Tyagi, founder, chairman, Gold Plus class, to come on the stage. And sir, request you to please felicitate Mr. Tyagi for contributing 2 CR to the cluster seed fund. You can come from behind. Venkatesh Patil, sir. He has also contributed 1 CR to the cluster seed fund. And this is just for your everyone's info. I think Santoshi has already given the commitment of 1 CR, and sir had felicitated him in the BTS itself. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. May I now please request Honorable Minister for ITBT, Rural Development, Panchayati Raj, Shri Priyank Kharge, sir. So, sir. Yes, sir, absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. So maybe so there will be few mics at all the corners. Request KDM team to be at different locations with mics. If you have any questions to the Honorable Minister, please.
I was just thinking that they've just finished lunch. If I start my speech, they might go to sleep.
Absolutely.
So ಮಲ್ಕೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಬೆಟ್ರು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಇಡೋದು ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ.
Sure, sir. Sure. Raise of hand, please.
So please go ahead and ask any question that you think the government should do or the department should do. Doesn't matter which department, but if there's anything that you have a suggestion for the government with respect to policies or any of the schemes, and what are the things that we can do to ensure that we can accelerate your growth here for startups, SMEs, MSMEs, anything that you ease of doing business, anything you think we should be doing. So please go ahead.
Namaskara, sir. I am Dr. Kiran Kanti, CEO of Lifetron Senior Equipments Private Limited. We are into medical device manufacturing. We have developed a phototherapy unit to treat newborn baby jaundice. And I have tried, I am an Elevate winner also. I have tried it to put into government health sector where the product can be used. But every time I face a problem of, they are asking me how many units I have sold to government. This is the first thing. Second thing, because my product is innovative, it has replaced it has replaced a product which is 6x4 size, 35 to 40 kgs, and baby had to be separated from mother. My product is only 2 kgs. It can be clamped near the mother and given treatment. Probably in another 15 days, I'll be getting patent also for that. When they ask for the specifications of what is existing now, I cannot put it in on the papers because it's totally new innovation worldwide. It is not there. This design is not there, sir. So it becomes difficult for me to sell it into government sector.
It's not only you find it difficult, for us also it's difficult to find to get anything new into the government because we don't understand it as well as you do. So anyway, I get your point, doctor.
Yes.
So that's the reason I think recently, if you have read the papers or if you have gone through, we have come up with a public procurement policy, a new public procurement policy for the government, where you have any new innovations such as yours that needs attention of the government or that can be piloted within the government, we will take it up. So that has happened last week, I guess, Darshan, if I'm 2 weeks back. And how much more longer? You have 1 more week to apply for it. May I suggest that you please extend it till this thing, so that if an Elevate winner is not aware of what is happening, then I'm sure the rest of the ecosystem also does not know. So today is what date is it? 15. So give it January 5th. Okay, we'll extend it by January 5th.
Thank you,
Please
sir.
tell everybody in the ecosystem who is registered within the startup cell of Karnataka to apply for it. If they have something unique, we will definitely pick it up. And any thing that is IP'd, which has a patent or an IP, we will be coming out with another portal shortly, probably post so mid-January or end of January, wherein even if you are not a Elevate winner, but you are registered with our startup cell, you will be getting an opportunity to at least pilot it if it is the requirement of that particular department. So we'll anchor that. This is again something that no state does it, but Karnataka will be starting this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, please go ahead. Okay, this one. I might could be Nandu, just in case.
Namaskar, sir.
Yeah, Heli.
Yeah, so my name is Muthu Sarshetty. I am from Vijayapur. I keep, seeing these kind of events in Hubli, Dharwad, and some events happen in Gulbarga as well. But I don't see the focus on my district. So what is the plan to boost this kind of entrepreneurship in those kind of districts?
Well, the Gulbarga people scold me that I don't do enough there. Let me be honest with you. It's very difficult to go on a district basis. But definitely, we are going to the tier 2 towns and tier 3 towns, where we see there is a ecosystem that is thriving, that needs acceleration, or which can be accelerated. So we need one city as an anchor. So it could be Hubli, Belgavi, or even Vijaypur. I'm not saying Vijaypur cannot be the anchor, but right now we are going through the cluster approach. So Kalburgi becomes a center, here Belgavi becomes a center, Bengaluru, Mysore becomes a center, so that the cascading effect is there on the other districts. So here we have great institutions, we have a good incubation systems over here. We have those. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. All we need to do is ensure that all of you get enough opportunity. See, it's better that somebody from Gadag, Dharwad comes to Hubli or Belgavi than Bengaluru, right? So the government's constant effort is to ensure that every district has its own mechanism for all these things, but it will take time, because one is the government needs to take this up on a mission mode and try to ensure that the ecosystem thrives, and you just can't go and put in thousands of crores in Chitapur or Kalburgi and say like, okay, we have built a startup ecosystem. No, it doesn't work. We have to go ground up. That is, you have to have you need to have the right education institutions. From the education institutions, we need to build the right skill sets. From the right skill sets, we need to ensure that you get the right incubation. From the right incubation, you need to ensure that you get the right innovations. So it's a constant struggle. Why do so many startups fail? Is because they don't get funding. Is not the only problem. Mentorship can be a problem, incubation can be a problem. Like our friend the doctor said, you have everything but you don't get a pilot, you don't get market access, you don't get that first customer. So we're trying different things. There is no right now I don't have a ready-made answer to how we can get every district to have this robust ecosystem. But one thing I can assure you, that we will have regional clusters which will have a domino effect on your districts as well. That includes my own district, as a matter of fact. So you'll have to be patient with us. But we, like Mr. Venkatesh Patel said, the government should visit these clusters more often. I should come here and listen to you more often for me to understand what you want. So in this government, we are listening to you. That's why we are here. So we'll just give us some time. We'll ensure that we'll be able to do something in every district. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Madhusudan. I'm the Group Chief Technology Officer for Dwara. We have recently started a Center for Artificial Intelligence for Financial Inclusion in IIT Dharwad. So while we have been working on the latest language models and speech recognition models, what we have found is the cost of GPUs or compute power, which is required for us to fine tune or work on these models, is a big barrier. So that is going to be a barrier not just for us, for any entrepreneur who wants to actually leverage on AI and build their own POCs. So if compute power is available at a reasonable price for the startup ecosystem, that can be a big enabler for AI startups.
So one of the things suggested by the cluster anchors also was a startup hub, a plug and play model, which the startup ecosystems over here can leverage. Definitely, probably, I would urge KDM leadership to have a look at that request and see if we can actually be very sector specific with that, depending on the demand. But be rest assured that there will definitely be a startup hub here in this cluster with incubation and innovation at the helm of affairs for that hub. We will be ensuring that you'll be having, or we will analyze all the things. So I mean, I just got a request from one of the associations. So if people here can spend some time and help us recognize these are the sectors that we as an ecosystem want, we will develop that. We will align ourselves so that we give what you want rather than you get what we want, what the government wants. So like I said, we are government that is listening. So please, if you can help us, we are not, I'm not the specialist, or none of my officers are the specialists here. You tell us that which way. If you are going to say drones, let's align ourselves to drones. If you're saying chip semicons, let's align towards that. If you're saying health sciences and medical products, let's align ourselves to that. So you need to tell us, you need to guide us onto what are the sectors, the top 5 sectors you think will which can be accelerated for the next couple of years here, and will ensure that plug and play model is delivered. So we'll have a look at that and definitely get back to you.
Good afternoon, sir. So my name is Rahil Sholapurkar.
Yeah.
Sir, I have two questions. Firstly, I want to know about ONDC. Like the central government is telling about the ONDC. Like my startup falls under e-commerce technology company. So I want to know more about it. Like there's no much visibility right now that has been shown to us. But we have known that it's kind of a UPI of e-commerce. So I want to know that. And secondly, as you're mentioning about the
You want to know government's thoughts on ONDC?
yes, sir. And one more thing is like, as you are talking about the incubation centers and all, don't you think that it's not just about helping the startup, but creating an ecosystem in the city? Like right now in in Bangalore, if a startup is there, it is like people are ready to accept it. As a vendor, he is ready to accept it. Ki startup try karte hain. But in Belgaum, the resistance is there. People have resistance in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. They have resistance to accept that new changes or take that new product, try it. So don't you think that ecosystem needs to be created even in the market, even in the public side? These are the two questions. Thank you,
You
sir.
asked 2 questions. Now, one is ONDC, which is again, I think, in my opinion, uh, it's too early. It's been tested only in one city with one sector. And as it spreads, somebody needs to pay up for the entire digital infrastructure that goes up. Like I said, it's my opinion.
Yes, sir.
So it's too early for us to jump into it. But having said that, uh, we need to be agile as well. So if the direction of the industry is going with ONDC, there's no harm in trying. I remember when in my previous tenure, we had a hackathon for blockchain. We were the first state to have a hackathon for blockchain. And from where we started that hackathon till today, that is 7 years after that, blockchain use cases are still there only. But that doesn't mean that the government should not experiment. That doesn't mean the government should not try where the its hand is. But ONDC is right now, uh, it's too early, I think. But definitely, if there is something that requires things, because a lot of fintech companies are approaching the government and asking on a policy for the same. But we need to brainstorm more about it from industry experts and figure that out. Number one. Number two, you were asking about um, adaptability of products in
Yes, sir.
tier 2 towns. In my opinion, the adaptability is higher here than in uh, bigger cities and metros and things. Hear me out. Startups itself by default are difficult, especially a product based startup is always difficult to find acceptance, because everybody wants that first customer, they want that first testimonial, they want to see a startup which is uh, revenue plus a surplus kind of startup. So of course that's why your challenges are much more huge, right? You don't fly with the wind, you take off against the wind.
Yes.
That's how startups journey, entrepreneurship is all about. But that is why we are coming up with this procurement policy, wherein if you have registered with a startup, with the startup cell, if you have a unique product that solves a actual problem and adds value, we will be able to pilot it. So you can, there are a lot of startups that I have worked in my previous tenure who have worked with the tourism department over here. Here they hardly got any money, or some of them didn't even get paid for it because it was a pilot. But what that other person did was he went to the Kerala Tourism Board and said, look, government of Karnataka has adopted this. The jungle lodges have adopted it. Why don't you take it? Then that becomes a customer. So now suddenly he had two government agencies with him. That is the government of Karnataka and Kerala. Then he moved to Maharashtra. Now he's probably one of the more successful AR/VR app that was funded by Karnataka, piloted in the Department of Tourism, and adopted by other states. So it's always a constant battle. So we'll try and see how we can ensure that the products or the services that are unique, and those which actually solve a problem and add value will be adopted. So we'll try and create a platform for that as well.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, hi. First of all, thank you for turning this into, rather than you speaking, we asking questions. We greatly appreciate it. I'm just going to take 30 seconds and sort of emphasize that I am speaking on behalf of the Belgaum Technology Companies Association. We are a newly formed Section 8 company. So as of today, we represent about 70 plus companies that have started in Belgaum, operating in Belgaum, and have been doing so for on an average of about 15 years or so. So an average company which is part of our association has been doing business here and is thriving for about 15 years. What we are sort of running into is that we are also missing the same kind of ecosystem, right? And we are sort of requesting your kind office to think about what can happen so that there are more tech people in Belgaum, whether it is an existing company having an incentive to come to Belgaum.
No, you need
Or
to tell
well-
me, you're the association.
Well,
You tell me, Priyank, this is what you need. I'll get it done.
so on the opportunity of being blunt, I would say that if you could incentivize anyone who would wants to set up anywhere else to set up in one of these clusters, that would be a very
That's
great
always
thing.
there.
Um,
We don't subsidize or incentivize any investment within Bangalore, especially the CBD.
Sure.
We have subsidies in and incentives only for investments beyond Bangalore.
Sure, sir. We're aware about that. I would just say that we are tech company people. We understand policy as little as probably someone else understands.
Like we
tech.
understand tech.
I would not go as far as saying that, but sure. What we would say is that, sir, this is what our understanding is. If you could just think about it a little
No,
more.
so what I would suggest is what probably I'm talking out, I'm
Sure.
thinking out loud,
Sure.
is if we can have our cluster heads and yourself put your heads together and talk to the education institutions around. You have the KLE and you have other things in Hubli, you have IIT, Triple IT, Dharwad. And why don't we come up with a center of excellence for innovations here?
Sure.
One is, of course, the plug and play model that can be on what do you say, on a hiring basis or whatever that you would require, a part of it. The other can be instead of people going and setting up companies or setting up tech companies by their own, this thing, we can have something like a small we work with incubation here. Like I said, I'm just thinking out loud.
That will be
So if you can come together and give me a blueprint on it, consider it done.
We will surely do that, sir.
Sure.
And a formal invitation whenever you're in Belgaum, please come and visit some of our companies.
Definitely, I will. I
Uh,
should.
We are doing, some of us are doing great work. We would love to have you with
So
us.
definitely count
Thank
me
you.
in.
Hello.
Now there are three
Sir.
mics. One second.
Yeah, please.
I think somebody doesn't want you to speak. This is
Hello.
the third
Huh.
time.
Hello, sir. My name is Jay. So I'm comfortable in Hindi. Yeah.
You
Sir,
don't know
मेरा-
Kannada?
Huh?
You don't know Kannada?
No, sir.
वो भी सीख लेना भाई जल्दी.
हाँ सर, अभी 3 साल हुआ है और सीख जाऊंगा.
अरे 3 साल में तो बहुत सीखे. हाँ.
सर मेरा ये एक था कि जैसे हम स्मार्ट इंडिया बोल रहे हैं, क्यों स्मार्ट एजुकेशन को नहीं कर सकते हम लोग? आज जब भी कॉलेजेस में हम जाते हैं, क्यों हम कंस्ट्रेंट नहीं डालते कि पर्टिकुलर क्लास में इतने ही बच्चे को लो? और क्यों टीचर लोग का भी एग्जाम लिया जाए एज अ सेंट्रल, ना कि पर्टिकुलर कॉलेजेस के हिसाब से, बट एज अ सेंट्रल टीचर लोग का भी एक एग्जाम होना चाहिए सर. क्योंकि कैसा हो रहा है आज के जनरेशन में कि सर जैसे जैसे सर ये एडवांसमेंट हो रहा है, जो ओल्ड थिंकिंग और स्टडी थे वो चेंज हो रहे हैं, तो उस हिसाब से टीचर लोग को भी अपडेट होना होगा. तो इस हिसाब से एक रेगुलेशन क्यों नहीं आया जा रहा कि टीचर्स लोग को भी ट्रेन किया जाए? अच्छा, सेकंड क्वेश्चन है कि AR VR जब इतना एडवांस हो रहा है, क्यों एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में AR की तरफ से या VR के थ्रू हम बच्चे लोग को क्यों नहीं पढ़ा रहे? अभी जैसे 2025 तक एक सेंट्रल का पॉलिसी आ रहा है एजुकेशन का, क्यों उसमें हम लोग लागू नहीं कर सकते कि बच्चे लोगों का सपोज ह्यूमन बॉडी पढ़ा रहे हैं, क्यों उसको VR के थ्रू नहीं पढ़ाया जाए? तो बच्चे लोग को जो सीइंग पावर से जो हम लोग सीखते हैं और जो रीडिंग पावर से सीखते हैं वो डिफरेंट है सर. वो सीइंग पावर जितना बच्चे लोगों को इमेजिनेशन पावर इंक्रीज करेगा वो ज्यादा बेटर करेगा. थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू. पहले बात तो ये है कि ना मैं हायर एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर हूँ ना प्राइमरी एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर हूँ, बट आई but if you think I have that much clout to influence, I'll definitely do that. But having said that, आपने बोला था कि ये नया एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, हैव यू आपने केंद्र सरकार की नया एजुकेशन पॉलिसी पढ़ा है आपने?
सर थोड़ा सा पढ़ा हुआ है अभी तक.
पूरा पढ़ लीजिए, then you will understand कि it is redundant. अभी your see my submission to all of you over here is we of course the education policies need to be tweaked, and we understand this extremely well in Karnataka. If you go back a little bit in a couple of decades back, today we are all sitting here, we are saying we are a great tech hub. We are in Karnataka, we are one of the most we are the fourth largest technology cluster. We are good in AI, we are good in GCC, we are good in research and development, all that. But the reason that happened is because Karnataka is far ahead in the education landscape than any other state in the country. We have 234 engineering colleges, we have 60 medical colleges, we have 44 universities, we have 1777 public and private industrial training centers, we have the IIT, we have the triple IIT, we have the triple IIT, we have the R&D R&D things like IASC, CV Raman Institute, ISRO, NAL, HAL. All this has happened because over a period of time. And your concept of course, seeing, ensuring that all the senses are activated while learning, whether it's feel, touch, visualizing, and all those things, it works well. This thing, but when you go on scale, it becomes very expensive, very expensive. So what we are doing is we are getting our own state education policy, wherein we will be ensuring that STEM is being taught at the very basic level. So in the Karnataka residential institutes, which we run, more than 1,000 residential, lakhs of children are studying there. We are ensuring STEM is delivered there through companies like Intel. Amazon is tied up with our social welfare and the backward class department to ensure that in our CRISE institutions these are being taught. We are reworking on the education policies to ensure that scientific temperament is grown. Okay, so all these things, it looks good on you when you see on YouTube and all that, but when you actually go down to the grassroots level, we need to improve our physical infrastructure heavily. Post that comes your digital infrastructure. But having said that, it's always a work in progress, because our academic institutions don't teach us the right sets of skills. We are producing the highest number of unemployed graduates in the world. Currently, Karnataka is producing the highest number of unemployed graduates now. That is why we are having these interventions like our skill advisory committee, which I am heading. So I go and ask Mr. Patil, I go and ask Mr. Santosh, okay, you have a cluster, you are running an industry, tell us what are the skill sets you want. We will ensure that you as a graduate are delivered with that skill set so that you become more employable. It's difficult for any government to promise employment, but can I make you more employable? Yes, I can make you more employable. How can I do that? By partnering with the right people for the right skill sets and ensuring that you deliver. So we have already set up that committee along with the Ministry of Skill Development. So education policy is one side, but getting into the academic council, getting these things changed, I will lose 3 academic years. That means 3 academic years of more graduates are into the workforce who are unemployable. So that is why we have come up with this skill advisory committee, wherein we plug in that gap that the industry wants to fill along with the government. So education policy, as well as ensuring the right skill sets for better employment opportunities for the youngsters, is the top priority for government of Karnataka.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Hello, sir. Hi.
Yeah.
My name is Robinson.
May I finish?
Yeah,
Please.
sure.
Yeah, thanks. Namaskara, sir.
Sir, myself Vijay Gudi from Samiksha Semiconductor, Hubli. My question is, as we are moving towards the digital, we are more engaged with a lot of electronics, and we are more becoming more dependent on the Western countries on the chips and the semiconductor products. So we are supposed to be more focusing on the semiconductor to race with the current development in terms of technologies, be it the AI, be it e-commerce or whatever it is.
Agreed.
So my request to you is considering the future plan, having a very high level technology node like 130 nanometer or 360 nanometer or 180 nanometer test facility in this region might definitely add a lot of value for the startup companies who are upcoming in the semiconductor industry. That is one thing. And another request is if you could categorize the semiconductor as one of the important aspect, because semiconductor is the heart of every electronic device. So, and from the government, if you increase the investment band for the semiconductor, because semiconductor is
I
then
mean the
capital intensive.
incentive band.
The investment bands, like the semiconductor requires the EDA tools, which are really expensive, which cannot be afforded by any even big companies for that matter. So if you could, there are already some organizations like Safal who are contributing and getting this one, but I think those accesses for the people from this region might be difficult. So if you could come up with a testing facility and eventually convert that as an the cluster or hub for the semiconductor development, that might definitely help in
So you
future.
have partners who are going to help us with this? Because Safal is again a partnership, which we.
So there was.
I started Safal when.
Yes, I completely agree,
in
sir.
my previous
There was.
tenure. So I mean, complete point taken. There is no doubt we need to do something that you have said, but a testing facility in Belgavi without the partners might not work, is what I strongly feel.
I completely agree, sir.
Yeah, so if
It
you can
might
help
not.
us with partners,
Yes.
we are committed to it, because semicon is a huge what do you say, is a
Capital
something
sector.
that it is of course capital intensive. It's a water guzzling
Sir, I think.
product, but it's a top priority for the government of Karnataka as well. And if you have seen how aggressively we have been pursuing, whether it is Foxconn or any other AMD or any other companies here, Marvel is here, to ensure that their not only their R&D is here, but also their manufacturing comes. So if you're able to rope in partners, even I'll start putting some thought into it. But if you're
Definitely.
able to help us out with that,
Sure,
definitely
sir,
we
sure.
can.
I'll
do
definitely
that.
bring in.
Because I'm of the strong opinion that in this particular arena of technologies and emerging technologies, government should not lead the way. They should just be by the industry side. So the industry should lead you, because you understand it better than us. If you left up to me, I will bring in a policy that will ensure that your businesses only close down. So you don't put me in the front. I'm right next to you. You lead from the front. So if you
Sure.
can let us know how to do things, we will be more than happy to.
Definitely, sir. I'll study about having a test facility,
Sure.
what would be the cost and all that stuff. And
But I'll tell you one thing. I was in US recently. We went to a lot of the semicon manufacturers, and thing. Everybody over there, for whatever reasons, are looking at India for chip designing. And in India, they're looking at Karnataka.
yes, sir.
I had in 6 days, I had close to around 51 meetings, 48 or 51 meetings. And every boardroom, 80% of the boardrooms, I heard one thing: Priyank, I need chip designers. US needs close to around 1 million chip designers in the next 3 to 4 years, and Karnataka is the only state they think they can deliver it. And I have assured them that we will do that. And Karnataka is also the only state. Nobody else. Show me one other state besides Karnataka where I can go to another city and talk about semicon. Can you talk about this in Lucknow? Can you talk about it in Ayodhya? Can you talk about this in Patna? No, only in Bangalore, only in Karnataka this happens. A lot of people, the semicon industry thinks Bangalore is the capital of India. So that's
Correct,
how good we
correct.
are. So we need to, besides the testing facilities and providing this thing, we also need to ensure that we have a great ecosystem for skills in this arena, whether it's chip designers or fabricators or mechanics or anybody that you require.
Yes,
Sure.
yes, thank you.
Hello, sir. My name is Robinson. I represent the company called Insense. We are in the business of AI cameras and the AI at the edge software. Currently, we are manufacturing these products in Bangalore. We are exploring to manufacture these in the Hubli area. One of the major challenges that we see for us to be competitive in this sector is the cost. And logistics is one of very important factor there. And we were looking into the cost involved, logistics cost involved in transporting goods from Hubli to Bangalore, Hubli to Bombay, Hubli to Delhi, Hubli to different places. So that cost is a bit prohibitive. What is the government's plan to enable entrepreneurs to reduce their logistics cost, especially when there is a focus in the sector for ESDM?
So, see, I get your point. Creating logistical points for goods of any kind of products of any kind is always a challenge. You can't build state highways, national highways overnight for that kind of scale that you deem it to run. But if I'm not mistaken, Belagavi, Hubli are extremely well connected with rail. We have a railway division also here, if I'm not mistaken, which ensures quicker and faster connectivity to ports from Mumbai or Mangaluru or the private ports in and around Karwar. And I think it's around 5 hours from Hubli to Bangalore by road. If it is this thing, 6 hours, yeah, 6 hours by road or something. But definitely, if logistics is a deterrent, I will definitely look into. If I would request the KDM to have a look at it, say, and check what is the whether the problem is with the last mile connectivity or connectivity to the SHNH or any other form of connectivity, whether it's to the port or whether it's to the railways or to the airport is there. If you want the cargo facility, we can ensure that it is done. It's probably it's a month's job that we need to. I think cargo is there in Hubli, right? In Belgavi, no? Is somebody aware? If you are CEO, Allah? Cargo is there, right? For air freight is also there, I guess. But if it isn't there, then definitely we can. It's just we can just ask for it from the central government. That should not be a problem. But we'll definitely look into what you said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Virendra I'm from Zibo Animation. One of the things that when we were talking earlier, the goal at this point when I was on the CI at the AVGC policy Make in India for the world, as we are transitioning from service to content creators, one of the challenges that we encounter, the most obvious challenge is education, training, right? So I understand what was obviously discussed. My idea is that if we can get some support, we will bring in the industry will become the last mile between the students and the.
What do you want? Because
we need
digital
infrastructural
arts,
support.
what kind?
Like the chips, the NVIDIA chips are expensive, right? Any form of subsidy, any form of support for training the trainers, and then they can train this.
Okay, I think that can be definitely looked into. Helps the
GCCs and how GCCs are unlocked.
With IIT Dharwad, so they've been kind enough to actually give us an office within the premises.